Are you trying to figure out what level you should be setting your collar to when training your dog with an electronic fence system? Then this video's for you. Hey folks, it's Adam with Outdoor Pet Solutions. I've been installing electronic pet containment systems for my customers here in the Nashville, Tennessee area for over 20 years. And during that time, I've put my hands on just about every fencing product available, as well as worked with all types of dogs of different breed types and temperaments. Over the years, I have learned a lot. So I decided to start this YouTube channel to help educate folks like you who are considering this type of fencing solution for their dog. And today we're going to answer a question that I tend to get often, and that is, how do I determine what level I should be setting the fence collar to for my particular dog? There's not a straight answer as far as what level you should be using, but instead there's a process you should be following to help determine the right level for your dog. You see, there's a lot of different options out on the market when it comes to this type of fencing solution. Electronic fencing comes in a variety of different technologies, whether it's GPS, in-ground wired systems, or wireless. Most of these products that are widely offered all over the internet on eBay and Amazon, and even down at the local pet store, they're very limited on the spectrum or the number of levels that are available to train your dog with. As you know, dogs come in a variety of different sizes and temperaments, so not one size fits them all. And some of these fence systems only offer one level of correction, and others go up to maybe 6 or 8 levels, which is still not enough to properly train a dog to a fence system. We as professionals offer a larger range of adjustability within the fence collar. And this is intentional, because there's a specific process you should be following teaching your dog their new boundaries, where you're going to slowly start amplifying the collar on them while taking advantage of distractions that are outside the yard that they might be enticed to go after. And during that set period of time, you'll be amplifying the collar slowly each day until they start respecting the boundary and no longer want to go through the fence to investigate those distractions. This is how you would determine what level is good for your dog. If you're limited to only 1 to say 6 levels, then that jump from level 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 is going to be very high. So you're going to run the risk of overstimulating your dog. And this is where electronic pet containment can get a negative reputation online from folks that are mishandling this type of equipment, or they're using something that's very subpar, that's limited in that spectrum, and ultimately they overstimulate their dog that results in them sitting on the front porch or back porch, not enjoying the yard, which is counterintuitive to what you're trying to teach. Or worse over, they get confused and they bolt out of the fence in the wrong direction out into the road. So to prevent all of that headache and stress, you need to be following a professional's guide on how to teach your dog their new limitations. And having a wide range of correction levels will aid you in that process while you're teaching your dog their boundaries without stressing them out. Just like professional grade remote trainers that dog trainers will use, they have a wide spectrum of stimulus. And it's intentional to ease them into what they're trying to teach the dog. Furthermore, professional grade dog collars do not use a sharp, painful stimulus, or what is typically referred to as a shock collar. Instead, they're using a training collar that utilizes a TENS unit, much like what a chiropractor would use on your back if you're having back issues, where they will contract your muscles. And of course, this contraction can get very intense for the dogs that are much larger or have a stronger temperament. But it can also be dialed way down for the more timid dogs. The OPS 1000 dog fencing system that I use and provide for my customers here in Nashville is a commercial professional grade system that offers 30 levels of adjustability within the system. This allows me to fine tune it for their particular dog. The 30 levels are isolated into 10 level banks. The first 10 levels are for itty bitty little dogs, say up to 10 pounds, and then the next 10 are for medium-sized dogs, and then the top 10 are for your large dogs. And that's a good starting point with my customer to determine what spectrum we'll be working in. However, temperament comes into play as well. I have some very strong-willed little dogs that are on a higher spectrum than some of my larger dogs that are big babies. And so again, having that wide range of flexibility is crucial in keeping your dog happy, all while learning their new boundaries. So as you can see, the answer to that question isn't very cut and dry, but there is a process that you should follow to ease your dog into the respective level that they'll respond to. And in the Gentle Approach training program, that's lesson 2, distractions and correction, where we're going to utilize distractions outside the yard, and we're going to start at a very, very low level with the collar, just enough to feel a tickle on their neck or something that's crawling on their neck will be the sensation that they experience, just so that they know something's beginning to change out in the yard. And then the next day you'll go to the next level and it'll get a little more noticeable for your dog. And then the next day you'll go to level 3, and you keep going until they respect those distractions that are outside the fence line and they no longer want to go investigate them. Now you've reached a level that's good for your dog. And again, if you only have 1 to 6 levels to work with, you're going to be jumping up so quickly through that very low spectrum to the very high spectrum, you're more than likely going to stress your dog out and frighten them, which is not the goal through this process. If you're still shopping around for an electronic pet containment system, I do offer my professional grade system in a convenient DIY kit that I can ship direct to you. It comes with all the same commercial grade components that I provide my customers here in Nashville, along with my detailed step-by-step installation guide showing you exactly how I install it as a professional, as well as my complete Gentle Approach training program, which will effectively and humanely teach your dog their new boundaries. If you'd like a complete breakdown of that fence system as how it compares to the most common consumer grade fencing systems that are out on the market, be sure to check out this video here. I walk you through one component at a time, comparing the two together so that you can see the difference between a professional grade system and a lower end consumer grade system. There'll be a link down in the description to that video, as well as a link to the product itself that you can order off my website. And the pricing you see on my website does include ground shipping via UPS direct to you. I hope this video was helpful to you in answering the question of what level you should be setting the collar to when training your dog to an electronic pet containment system. And as always, thanks for watching. Goodbye.